Hey everybody, Josh from Drum Highway here. In a couple seconds, I'm going to play a groove that fixes this common problem that shows up in music all the time. Ever been the drummer in the band and someone turns around to you and says, it feels a little tight. Is there any way that we could change things to create a little bit more space? Maybe you're a songwriter or a singer and trying to get your vocal phrasing to work with the drums. You could even be a producer and you're trying to communicate this idea to the drummer. I'm going to play a beat right now. I'm going to play very straight and then I'm going to move one note. And when I do, it's just going to open things up a little bit and make some space for some altered musical phrasing. Check it out. I'm sure you were able to hear that, not too challenging to notice. It's a simple concept that can fix a lot of problems quickly. But it doesn't always fix everything. Sometimes you need to do a little more. I'm going to cover a couple other variations that I use if you need to create even more space. But stick around to the end of this video. I'm going to play a chord progression. I'm going to play along with that and demonstrate all these things in real musical context so you can hear how I actually use these things. Sometimes that and a 3 will fix it, other times it doesn't. We have to go to our version of 11, which is more like a -1. I've been in recording sessions, I've worked with songwriters, I've been in musical situations where they say, it's still too rigid, there's too many notes, it feels too busy. Could you play less rhythmic? That's one of my favorites. I've also got, can you play like Blue or like the Ocean or think of a puppy dog when you're playing this one? So slightly out of context for this, but I just thought I'd throw it in because it's pretty weird when someone says, hey, can you play like a puppy dog? I don't exactly know what that sounds like, but I think I really tried my best that day. So here's what I do. I just take the bass drum out anywhere that's around on beat 3. I'll only play on beat 1, I'll play the snare drum on 2 and 4, and that's it. So what they get is this. Sometimes what I will do is add a few other texture notes on the snare drum. Sometimes I won't, but sometimes I do. And it sounds like this. Just gives it a little bit of nuance, a little bit of movement, but it stays away from that other bass drum note so it doesn't get too heavy. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, I ask you to please like and subscribe to the channel so we can get it out to as many folks as we can. Thanks. Sometimes going to a ride cymbal can open things up a little bit and create some air in the music. Now, if it's a real washy cymbal, sometimes that fills in the space and they don't like it, so sometimes you have to find the correct ride cymbal, and sometimes the ride doesn't work at all anyway, but when I do, I'll play something like this. So there's both variations on the ride cymbal. The space, the final frontier on this is I don't ride with any hand. I just play the bass drum and the snare drum. Now that gets a little bit extreme, but sometimes it does work, and it would sound something like this. And you'll notice when I do that, sometimes I'll play on my leg just to keep some time. So I have something that I'm used to sort of holding the whole groove together while I'm leaving that much space. Now I've been in situations where I've tried all these things and they said it's still too much. And at that point I have to ask this question. Are you sure that drums are the right choice for this song? Do you feel like having a percussion overlay or drum set sound is too confining for your musical vision? And that may very well be true. The side dialogue for that is, I would like to go home at some point and I want to be done with this musical situation. So it's not to be negative about it, but one, it is to solve the problem. And sometimes drums aren't good. I don't always like drums on stuff, and I'm fine to go in and say, I don't think it needs drums, or I don't think it's working, or maybe you should try percussion, or maybe just a shaker's going to do it. I don't have a problem with that at all. I'm there to help figure out what's going to be the best for the music, and sometimes the best thing is that there just aren't drums on it. As we exit this thing, I'm going to play through these variations. I'm going to overdub some guitar afterwards so you can hear how these grooves change around an actual chord progression. It's going to be me playing guitar, so forewarned is forearmed. We'll see you next time.